on the heat. My people are not fools on the heat. You must let my people go, so we can roll from Cape to Cairo.
All right, for as long as we keep on fighting and fighting and fighting to reclaim that territory known as the former British Southern Cameroons, we will keep on asking the question. We want to know who owns the land. We want to know who owns the land. And that is not because we do not know who owns the land. We are only asking the question for as long as the people that matter in the international community release that land back to its rightful owners, talking about the people of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, former British Southern Cameroons. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It's a privilege to come back to you today with updates on the Ambazonian struggle for self-actualization. Of course, I am Chris Anu, and good evening to all of you watching, tuning in, gluing by your television sets from Ground Zero, Ground One, all of Asia, including Singapore, in all those places, China and so on. Of course, those of you in Africa watching by way of satellite or social media, again, thank you for joining the broadcast today. And those of you in the continental USA, including Canada, thank you too for tuning in by way of the social media. And those of you in Mexico, that is the way they pronounce it, but many people pronounce it as Mexico. Welcome to the broadcast too. God bless you all for tuning in. It's going to be very, very exciting today. And please, if you are tuned in by way of Facebook, please go ahead, hit that share button within the twinkle of an eye. Within the next 5 minutes, in the next 5 minutes, I mean, let's get at least 700 people, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I got a very, very exciting interview with revelations that perhaps you've never heard, or maybe revelations you have heard, but you never knew that someone could corroborate them. That is what I bring to you today. Go ahead, hit your share button, ladies and gentlemen. It is again going to be one of those exciting broadcasts. And of course, all routes this weekend lead to Kupe Manenguba. Kupe Manenguba. Last week was Le BLM. And first of all, ladies and gentlemen, let me thank all of you, generous Ambazonians out there who generously donated into my basket at the last weekend war drive for Le BLM County. Thank you so very much. I really deeply appreciate it. This week again, all Ambazonians move over to Kupe Manenguba County to make that county a great county. In this struggle, ladies and gentlemen, no county gonna be left behind. Every one of our county is as important as the other. And so the fact that we are not having the equivalent power force in all the counties doesn't mean that any county is less important. Of course not. If we liberate 12 of our counties out of 13, one is still left, it means Ambazonia is still unliberated. Again, if we will save 12 of our counties and just one is left unsafe, that wouldn't give us our complete independence. And so every county matters. Somebody hashtag every county matters. Every county matters so far as the liberation of the Southern Cameroons is concerned. And so this week again, we are all trooping to Kupe Manenguba to put some cash into their pocket so that the restoration forces, referring to the Ambazonia restoration forces in Kupe Manenguba, can take it, can give La République du Cameroon soldiers a match for their money and their machinery. So please, I'm going to be talking about that. I will be joined by the chairman of Kupe Manenguba, who will be discussing with me and giving you relevant information as to this Sunday. Please, again, if you are just joining, go ahead and you hit your share button. Let us quickly played this social media platform. There are millions gluing by their television sets in all of Africa, waiting to hear the news that I bring to you today. So for you on the social media, let's not keep them waiting. Please hit your share button. Let the numbers jump. Let the numbers jump. Please quickly do so. And while you do that, let me do some house cleaning, a little bit of house cleaning here. Of course, you would have witnessed a few days ago, last Monday, that will formally launch ABC Amber News, coming to you every week. I want to say that we've got some opportunities here at ABC, ladies and gentlemen, especially if you are anywhere in Africa and on Ground Zero and Amazonia in particular. We want to work with you to to expose every development that is happening out there in your neck of the wood. If you are in an area, a community, a locality where things are happening, we want to empower you. ABC wants to empower you to become a citizen reporter, a citizen journalist. And so if you have, thank God actually for cell phones. You don't need to go to the market to buy a camera to take footages of what you come across or what is happening out there. With your phone, you can walk the street and literally use that phone to take up footages of events that you see across, that you come across, breaking stories, breaking developments that you come across, accidents, whatever you see that you think is newsworthy. You use your phone, your camera to take the footages and you send it to us and we run it on ABC. We are going to compensate you. We are going to compensate you when you do that. Thank you. I see the numbers are jumping. Keep on hitting that share number, that share button. Those of you joining, please quickly hit your share button as you join. Okay. So again, we have opportunities here at ABC News. If you are on Ground Zero and you come across news happening in your community, in your neck of the wood, in your backyard, wherever it happened, on that street in front of you, use your camera, get the news, send us the narrative. For as long as we run it on ABC, ABC will compensate you for that story. But take note, when you go out to use your phone to take footages, videos, you do not hold your phone like this. No, you do not hold your phone like this to take images. You hold your phone horizontally like this, so that when your images come to us, they are full screen. When you have your phone like this, the images can never be full screen. We can zoom them full screen in some cases, but you zoom it, you mess with the resolution, you mess with the quality. You always want to hold your phone in a horizontal manner, landscape manner, so that the pictures come in the full screen, 16:9 quality. All right, yes, the numbers are jumping. Again, I have about 3 minutes to go. So please, I need 700 people. We are close to 600. Hit your share button as you join, please. Okay, so that is very important. ABC News will be coming to you every week. Our plan is to get it on a daily basis. But you know, we are just building up. So for now, it is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, rebroadcast, of course, until we are able to have some stability and maybe some more equipment to be able to do that. Now, you must have realized that your regular programming, even including my own, has been interrupted. I couldn't come up on Monday. I just squeezed in this time to come in because of Kupe Manenguba. I had to come up here, and of course, general no PT abduction, families abduction. That is why I squeezed this moment to be here. But you are going to realize as we bring you the news that lots of our programs will be altered. The regular programs may not be coming up so soon as they have been, because we need more equipment here in the studio so that when we are recording the news, everything is not shut down. That is what we are currently facing here. So I wish you all understand that, but we will try to get things rectified. Okay, so that is it about the news. We hope that you are enjoying it. It can only get better. Just be patient with us. It will get better and better and better. So please go ahead, hit your share button, please, as I come up with these developments. Now, something that some other things that I need to bring to you before I start with the program, the broadcast proper. Now, this is what we have learned happening in the Bamenda main market. We have learned that the colonial administrators, the colonial mayor of the city, they have gone into the Bamenda main market and they are breaking down what they call attachments, shop attachments in those markets. Now, they break down those, they go into those markets, kick out the shirt owners or the attachment owners, people, ladies and gentlemen, who have actually paid for those shirts for years. They have been using it for all these years. Now, we understand the city colonial officials have gone into the market and they have driven away the shirt owners, the attachment owners, and they are breaking down those attachments in the guise of rebuilding them, in the guise of rebuilding the attachment. Now, it sounds like nothing wrong with rebuilding, reconstructing those attachments, right? But this is the problem. Here is the problem. Those attachments are being rebuilt, not to be handed over to the original owners. They are breaking them down, rebuilding them to sell them to Francophone traders, to sell them to Francophones, particularly Babanekis and Igbo traders in the Bamenda main market. Now, this interim government will not sit here and have these colonial officials walk into people's shops, break them down in the time of war, and then turn around, rebuild them, and sell them to foreigners, to Francophones, to Igbos. Not at this moment, not at this point in time. And so we are passing this message to the colonial officials in the city of Bamenda that please leave that market alone, at least for the moment where we have this war. Leave that market alone. There can be no reconstruction or no form of construction going on anywhere in any market in Bamenda in the present, in the time of war. When people are struggling to pay bills, when people are struggling to put food on the table, when people are struggling to even sell a pin on a daily basis, you go and you destabilize their livelihood in the name of reconstruction which you want to do to turn over the shops into the hands of Francophones. We will not sit here and allow that to happen. This is our appeal. Everybody inside Bamenda main market in particular, we are asking you, we need anybody who comes around in the guise of a construction worker to rebuild those sheds. We need their photographs here. We need their photographs here. We want to see who will be bold enough in the midst of this war to walk into the Bamenda main market to break down shops and then start reconstruction. Please, we are advising everybody inside the Bamenda main market. We need photographs of anyone, any construction worker, any city worker who comes in there for reconstruction. We need their photographs or their videos sent to us. We will not allow that to happen. I hope that they are getting me. I hope that they understand what we're talking about here. People are struggling to have to make a living. And the city colonial officials that are coming about and destabilizing the livelihoods of families. We will not entertain any such reconstruction, not until this war, this conflict is over. Again, I am appealing to the traders inside Bamenda main market. Get the photographs and the footages, video footages of anyone you find inside the market trying to carry out some reconstruction there. We will take care of you from there. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we have hit 700. Keep on hitting your share button, ladies and gentlemen. Again, we have something very, very exciting coming up in a few minutes. So please stay tuned. Again, as I said, the round leads to Kupe Manenguba. Kupe Manenguba. This is a week for Kupe Manenguba. Last week was for BLM County. This week is for Kupe Manenguba. But before we get there, let me bring you these other news items, ladies and gentlemen. This is information. This is information that is coming to us from Victoria. This is what we have learned. We have learned that Victoria, Limbe, as La République du Cameroon citizens would love to call it, is out for sale. And guess who the buyers are? The buyers are the Chinese. But not just the Chinese. The Chinese are competing for land sale in the city of Victoria with the mayor of Victoria 1, they call him Andrew Mutanga, somebody, and his own secretary. They are competing to buy land inside Victoria. Now, the mayor of Victoria, Andrew Mutanga, he wants to buy the land, and his secretary and others turn around, sell the land to the Chinese who have come to the community to set up a quarry factory, ladies and gentlemen. And the residents of Victoria, they are grumbling. You know, they can't speak out because you understand the kind of retaliation that will follow them. So the residents in Victoria, they are grumbling. Land that they were offered 50 million francs. Andrew Ngumba has come around and his colleagues, and they are offering cheap money to get the pieces of the land and then turn around, sell it to the Chinese. Let me say this. We are still on top of this story and we will get to the bottom of this. Let me say this. Anybody, and the Chinese included, anybody trying to invest at this moment in Ambazonia, any foreign investors anywhere in Ambazonia at this moment, please, you are advised. You do not buy land to invest at a time of war, especially when that war is about sovereignty, when that war is about independence, sirs. Because when Ambazonia finally takes over its territory to own it, there will be new regulations, and you will not tell us that you bought that land during this period. Anybody buying property at this period, in fact, we'll have to go back to 20 years because I know just how corrupt that country is. People will go and buy land and backdate it to 30 years ago. Of course, the sellers will be there to tell us when the land was sold. So don't waste your time. Any piece of land being sold now, anywhere in Ambazonia, even farmlands, I'm sorry, you may have to lose it. Yes, you may lose it when finally Ambazonia take over, because we are not going to build a regular society, a regular community as you have in La République du Cameroon. Every plot, every piece of land in Ambazonia will be carefully planned. And you risk the land being confiscated, especially if you are buying it during this period of war. And so, I hope that Andrew Mutanga and the Chinese will not venture into this business in Victoria, because it will be, you will lose it at the end of the day. You will lose it by the end of the day. Please, do not sell your land Even if that your land is farmland, do not sell it at this moment. We hear of all the manipulations in Boya. Can you imagine that the governor, the colonial governor in Boya, ladies and gentlemen, is selling land in Boya? This is a petty guy. He has an agent. I hear of people in Douala he is selling land to. Ladies and gentlemen, the colonial governor is selling land. He owns one hotel at the entrance of Victoria and he puts it on somebody's name. He is confiscating people's land from the chiefs and turning around using an agent to sell the land. I am talking of Bernard Okalia. Many of you have not heard this. That is what Bernard Okalia is doing. And we know the one in Bamenda, Lele Lafrique, is doing the same thing up station in Bamenda, Nkwe, selling the lands to the Bamilikis. That is why you go to Bamenda. The road, the piece of road called, is it new layout from Nkwen? My 2, I guess, or my 3, up to up station, the new road. It is owned by Bamilikis. You go up station and Bamendankwe. It is owned by Bamilikis. And guess who is at the center of this? Lele Lafrique. Lele Lafrique. Well, again, I can say it. I would always say to every one of you out there, don't sell your land. Don't sell it. And those who buy it shall return it. We will use eminent domain, maybe, who knows, to get that land back and use it for government development purposes when the right moment comes. All right. Thank you. But let me get to yet another developing story. Another developing story that we are receiving today. This is what we received today, ladies and gentlemen. We have learned that finally, the French, and I mean the country of France, the French have figured out how to counter us with the idea of independence. The French have come up with this idea of making an Anglophone, as they call it, the next president of La République du Cameroon. Yes, you got me right. The French have figured out a solution of countering the vision of a free and independent Southern Cameroons. And they thought the idea is making the next president of La République du Cameroon a Southern Cameroonian, an Ambazonian. We do not know who they are suggesting to become the president of La République du Cameroon. But that is what the French have suggested to La République du Cameroon. And the French have told Cameroon that the Southern Cameroons is gone. If that is not done, immediately done, there will be no antidote to a one and indivisible Cameroon. And so they have suggested, they quoted what happened in Bali. They said Ambazonians have essentially taken control of their land, and they quoted the example of what happened in Bali and what is happening on Manfé-Ekok Road. The France, ladies and gentlemen, they are quoting these instances. They said in Bali, the colonial administration hasn't been able to have a control over vehicular movement in that area. They said between Manfé-Ekok Road, where Ambazonia Restoration Forces decreed an injunction on that road, the colonial officials have not been able also to have a handle over passage on Manfé-Ekok Road. And so the French are saying to La République du Cameroon, Ambazonia is in control of their territory. Ambazonia is in control of their land. You are losing it. They quoted the Bali attacks. They quoted that in Manfé, those in Bui, and all over the place. And the French finally suggested to La République du Cameroon the solution to this, and to quell the aspirations of those clamoring for independence, they said, is to make an Anglophone the next president of that damn country. That's what they say. Make an Anglophone the next president of the La République du Cameroon. Now, it sounds childish, isn't it? It doesn't make sense to me. Let me say something here, ladies and gentlemen. Make an Anglophone the next president of La République du Cameroon for how many years? For how many years? For eternity, or for the number of years that Francophones have governed that country? But what does that even mean? What does that even mean? You make an Anglophone the president of La République du Cameroon. Does he have any powers? The Senate will be Francophone. The Parliament will be Francophone. The Prime Minister will be Francophone. Everything you can imagine will be Francophone. And the officials in the presidency will be Francophones. That president will become a ceremonial president without any powers to enact laws. They will surround him. They will tie his hands with immediately made regulations that will enable him to do nothing. But let me add this. Let me add this. Throughout the time of Ahijo, the prime minister was Anglophone, correct? Throughout the time of Bia's 40 years, the prime ministers, Anglophone, from Achidi Achu to Musonge, to Inoni, to Philemon Yang, and now you have Dion Gute, almost 40 years. What were they able to do? Isn't it a shame? Philemon Yang left office without a road into Bamenda. Yes, without a road. Up to today, there is no road into Bamenda. Philemon Yang sat there for all the time, 8 years he was there. The ring road supposed to pass through his own county. There is no ring road. He left without a ring road. Musonge left without a ring road. Achide Achu left without a ring road. Inoni left with no ring road. Dion Gute is there presiding and talking about a ring road. He will leave without a ring road. Ladies and gentlemen, can you imagine? When Musonge went out to Bamenda during his consultations about the so-called Multiculturalism and Bilingualism Commission consultations, you know the messages he brought from Bamenda and from Boya? When he left Bamenda, he went and told Yaoundé that if you just give the people of the northern zone, the people of Bamenda, if you can just give them the ring road, that is all they want. They will all be fine. It never happened, right? When Musonge left Boya, he went to Yaoundé and told them, the people in Boya have said, if you can just give them the seaport, just a seaport, the people in Boya will be fine. Has it ever happened? But even if it happened, is that what we want? What does that got to do with a free and independent people? What has that got to do with it? We've had those Anglophone prime ministers for decades. For decades, none of them has a kilometer of a tar road in their own villages, in their own towns, ladies and gentlemen. None of them. None of them. So, what are they talking about? What are they talking about? So, we are saying this, ladies and gentlemen. It appears that we are interrupted here. It appears that we are interrupted here on Facebook. Let's see, we will get back on there. All right. I think we had built up to close to 1,000 people and suddenly got shut down. Let's hope that we are back on. Let's hope we are back on. Okay, we'll be back on, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back on. We'll be back. I think we are right back on now. All right, great. So, ladies and gentlemen, we don't know what happened. Suddenly, we got shut down. So, please, thank you. Go ahead, let others know we are right back there with the broadcast. We know a lot of public has agents trying to monitor what we say, and they work together with Facebook to shut us down. Went up to 1,000 people and dropped down. cut off. All right, we are back live, ladies and gentlemen, here on the social media. Thank you. Quickly repopulate the platform. But that is the message that we have received, that these are the suggestions, the advice that the country of France is giving La République du Cameroon to appoint an Anglophone president this time, so that if they should have an Anglophone president, then Anglophones don't have to cry of marginalization, and their cry for independence would have been neutralized with a president from their own part of the country. That is what they have suggested. That is what the French have suggested to La République du Cameroon. We are watching to see what is the outcome from there. But let me say this. This interim government was set up to fight for a free country called Ambazonia, not a federal country, not a federal La République du Cameroon. And so you can go on and choose an Anglophone to rule La République du Cameroon for eternity. We will make him your citizen and not our citizen. Our citizens are looking for their own country, not a country in La République du Cameroon where their citizen is their president. That is not what we are looking for. We are bent on this, ladies and gentlemen, and nothing that they sell us short of a free and independent Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia will end this conflict. Nothing other than that. We didn't have to have all these people, 30,000 Ambazonians slaughtered by French Cameroon soldiers. 400 settlements burned down by French Cameroon soldiers for us to go talk federation or have some Anglophone president in La République du Cameroon. We didn't need that. We don't need their damn president. And if you choose to go run for president of La République du Cameroon again, we will make you their citizen and you will move over there to rule from there. Not anywhere in Ambazonia. Not anywhere in Ambazonia. So that will not happen. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for quickly regathering back. We don't know what happened, whether Facebook shut us down or what. We do not know. But thank God we are back live on the social media. And it is looking good. We had hit about 1,000 people, and it went off. But great, we're getting almost 700 now already. Keep on hitting your share button for those who do not know. We are back live, ladies and gentlemen. Again, we got some very, very interesting revelations in an interview that I will be bringing to you shortly. Going to be very, very exciting. Very, very exciting interview, revelation. I know these are things that you have heard before, but you never thought for once there is somebody who has actually researched them, investigated them, and can corroborate them. That is what I'm bringing to you shortly. So please go ahead again, hit your share button. Let me get to Kupe Manenguba. Now, before I get to Kupe Manenguba, please, let's take this other subject here concerning the abduction of FM No PT's family few days ago. As you all know, ladies and gentlemen, few days ago, La République du Cameroon abducted the families of General No PT. And up to today, as I come to you, the family of General No PT remains in the custody of La République du Cameroon. Nobody knows precisely where they are kept, be it whether in Bamenda or in Douala or in Yaoundé. Nobody knows where they are kept. The brothers, the sisters, the parents were all picked up, abducted by French Cameroon authorities. And as you know, this is what happened to my family. I think a year ago. You all remember the abduction of my mother the abduction of my sister, the abduction of Field Marshal's wife, pregnant wife. You know, this is what they call the last kick of a dying horse, ladies and gentlemen, the last kick of a dying horse. That is what La République du Cameroon is doing. And they think that by doing this, they intimidate us, they quell our spirit, and intimidate us to give up on the war. Of course not. Of course not. This intimidation does not frighten us to give up on Ambazonia. And of course, you have heard from Field Marshal No Pity. This is not intimidating him. This is not intimidating him to give up on the war. Field Marshal No Pity has said they can keep them. They can keep his parents there. If they think that by holding his parents, he will be afraid to go on and carry on with the prosecution of this war. He has said that is not, again, that is not going to be the case. We have a message here from the interim government for La République du Cameroun. And the message is that, of course, we care about those family members. Now, before I move on, let me remind you, none of them has been released. There is some falsified information on the social media that his brothers and sisters, FM No Pity's brothers and sisters were released. That is not true. Only one person whom they tortured to death, and because they were afraid he may die, they released him. Only one person was released. The one they tortured and they were afraid could die within the cell. He was released. Other than that, all of them abducted, they still remain in custody. Now, from the interim government, we want General No Pity to know, and that family to know, the interim government stands behind them, supports them, will do everything necessary to support them, to make sure that the family is released. To La République du Cameroun, we want them to know that holding that family for 1 year will not stop the Ambazonian war. The same thing was tried on Field Marshal of Ambazonia. Of course, when they picked up the wife, picked up the mother, picked up the sister, they thought he was going to compromise and surrender. Of course, Field Marshal did not start fighting, and Field Marshal Field Marshal No Pity by no means is going to stop fighting. In fact, let me take you through some images here, ladies and gentlemen. Look at these images here. Let me take you to these images here. Look at these images here, ladies and gentlemen. The images you find on your screen. This is the work of Field Marshal No Pity only yesterday. Only yesterday, ladies and gentlemen. Field Marshal No Pity, in spite of the attack on his family, ladies and gentlemen, went out yesterday and destroyed this French company. I think it's called Sodepa. And I understand that it said General No Pity attacked Sodepa in Dumbu Ranch yesterday. That was, I think, Tuesday. The military in the area ran away. A tractor, a pickup, and a credit union building were burned. Sodepa is French Cameroon company called Société de Développement et d'Exploitation de Production Animale. Please pardon my French. That is just my own little French. So that is the work of Field Marshal No Pity, ladies and gentlemen. Only yesterday, Tuesday, in spite of the attacks on the mother, the father, the brothers, and the sisters. That is it. Look, take a look at that. All right. So again, this interim government stands behind Field Marshal No Pity, and the interim government will do everything that it can to support him and to support that family. For French Cameroon, you're wasting your time, sirs. Take all of our families. Nobody will renege. Nobody will cut and surrender until independence come. All right. But to another thing, another story, the destruction, the mayhem in recent times on the French Cameroon army. We saw what happened in the Bui. Look at what happened in Bui, ladies and gentlemen. Take a look at that. That is the work of Bui warriors. This happened yesterday. This truck that you see cost millions for French Cameroon. Look at that. Look at that. That cost millions for French Cameroon. That happened yesterday. It was destroyed yesterday by the Bui warriors. Look at it. Look at it. Look at that. Look at it. Look at another one there. That is what is happening in Ambazonia. In Ambazonia. And look at this one too. This is the photo, the footage of the decade for this war, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the ingenuity of Ambazonia restoration fighters in Libya. Look at that. I want you to observe particularly the height at which the explosion ejects this military truck. The height at which the explosion ejects the military truck. Look at it. Look at it. Look at that. Ladies and gentlemen, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Yes. In that truck that you see, it came out, it left there in pieces. 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 And we do not know the number of casualties coming out of that incident there, but it was bad. It was bad. It was bad, ladies and gentlemen. And that is why I guess Paul Biya could not believe it. Paul Biya just couldn't believe it. And he went to the scene. He went to the scene and looking at the wreckage. Looking at the wreckage there, he couldn't believe his eyes, but to use some of those foul words, the Ambazonia boys. Ambazonia boys. So look at what they have done. Well, that is some in a lighter mood there, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I am joined by the chairperson for Kupe Manenguba, Dr. Epa himself. Dr. Epa himself. Dr. Epa, it's a great privilege to have you here with me, sir. Let us talk again. Can you? Yes, please. That is great. Yes, thank you. So thank you for joining me, Dr. Epa. I know that every route this weekend leads to Kupe Manenguba. We want to see, again, after Dr. Epa, ladies and gentlemen, I will be bringing you the exclusive revelations of the day. Please do not touch your remote because it is going to be stunning. So, Dr. Epa, great to have you here, sir. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, Secretary Chris. Can you hear me well?
I am doing excellent. Thank you for coming on the show. This weekend is all about Kupe Manenguba. We are coming out of Libya from last week, and I know you probably have lots of expectations for Kupe Manenguba. Tell us what your expectations are for the weekend's draft.
Oh, Secretary Chris, we are very, very excited. But first, let me make a certain correction. I'm not the chairperson for Kupe Manenguba. I am the vice chairperson for Kupe Manenguba.
Oh,
The
okay. Thanks for
chairperson,
that correction.
yes, yes. And again, I am the chair of Nguti local government area and also a member of the Restoration Council. So I have
Wonderful.
three.
How many LGAs are there in the Kupe Manenguba, sir?
We have three LGAs, Bangam, Tomber, and Guti. And we are looking forward to seeing all the Ambazonians, our supporters from everywhere to come and help us build that county. Hello, can you hear
Awesome.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go on.
Okay. Yes. We although I've come alone, but other members were supposed to come. They are very busy, but the county decided to select me to come and represent them. And anything that you ask me that I know, I will explain to Ambazonians and to our supporters who will be coming on Saturday to support us.
Wonderful. Again, how many counties, how many LGAs is there in Kupe Manenguba?
I said three. That's Bangam, Tombel, and Guti.
Okay. Okay. Now, what did you raise last year? I mean, the total, not the actual amount that came in, but what was drafted last year. What did you get up to?
We got $86,000
Wow.
last year.
Wow. $86,000 last year.
Correct.
So, what are your expectations for this year, this weekend?
Oh Lord, we are expecting more than 200. I would say $200,000.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, Kupe Manenguba is one of those counties with issues here and there, when it comes to managing the restoration forces in the Kupe Manenguba, how is the synergy there? Is there a chain of command that is respected by the county?
Secretary Chris, someone was calling me. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, can you repeat that question? Someone was calling me.
Yes, I said that Kupe Manenguba is one of those counties with a lot of issues here and there. But when it comes to the restoration forces on the ground, is there some synergy within the forces with a chain of leadership that is very much coordinated from the county hierarchy?
Yes, we have had a series of problems. You know, Kupe Manenguba is, I would say, maybe is the first county which is actually La Republique. CPDM has a very strong hold in Kupe Manenguba, and most of our restoration forces have actually suffered a lot. Many have died, and still we have some of them who are very powerful. They are willing to fight, and this chain of command, and they are doing the right thing. They don't cause havoc anywhere except to La Republique, the slaves who have come to our place. In fact, I call them as slaves because if they were not slaves, they would not come and try to take over Amazonia. Right. So our forces actually have a chain of command. They listen to what we say, and they even sometimes speak with the commander-in-chief. And we are just looking forward to seeing all the Amazonians come and support us. A number of them have been killed by the enablers within and without, and that has been the problem in Kupe Manenguba. So
now Kupe Manenguba, that is the county of the Bongolese, am I right?
Yes.
Yeah, Bongolese, and you are my neighbors. In fact, we are your big brothers. You know that Libya Lem is your big brother.
No, Libya Lem is our junior brother.
Oh, you're not serious there.
Okay, I would say in case of this fight, yes, this struggle, Lebanon is our big brother, as Field Marshal, uh, have done a very great job. He's our neighbor. He has helped us very greatly. Most of our boys were trained there. Uh, they know the guerrilla fight very well. We, even in production, they know how to do that. And but when it comes in terms of the size, oh no, Manunguba is a brother to Labiela.
Well, of course, I know that that was just a little humor intended for humor there. Uh,
Yes.
so, uh, but tell us, is there anything special that you would love Amazonians to know as a means of motivation to get Amazonians to support the work of the restoration fighters in the Kupe Manenguba?
Oh yes. Um, why should Kupe Manunguba come? Why should Ambazonians come to Kupe Manunguba to draft for us? Kupe Manunguba is a gateway for this liberation struggle. It is all of our three LGAs are in a strategic position. Let's take Tombel, for example. I will start with Tombel.
Yeah.
Tombel has that road from Kumba to Lum, and therefore is very strategic. Bangam has a very long border with La République du Cameroon. Then let's go to Nguti. Nguti is in the heart of this struggle. Nguti is between Kambe when you are going to Victoria, you have to pass through Nguti. When you are coming from Ekok or even from Nigeria passing through Manu, you have to pass through Nguti, going to Victoria. Same like anybody living Victoria, going to Bamenda and Kambe or going to Manko, you have to pass through Nguti. Nguti is at the center of Ambazonian country. And that is why there are a lot of forces in Nguti. Nguti also has a lot of natural resources.
Okay.
That we have to take care of. We cannot allow La République du Cameroon to take over Kupe Manenguba. We tried it, the Bamnikes tried it in 1960s, but the Bakosi man fought against their inclusion. Although they are in a very large number in Tonga, as you will know, there's a Bamnike lady who is a mayor in Tonga. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, you are right. You remind me of that a francophone, a French Cameroon citizen, is the
Yes.
mayor of a southern Cameroon county. That is happening in Moyoka. I think there's also one up in Bamenda. This is really one of the reasons for which we are fighting. And before I get back to you to comment on this, ladies and gentlemen, again, right after this, I am coming up with that interview with those special revelations. Do not go anywhere. The best is yet to come. So tell me, how come this lady became the mayor of your city, of your town, a francophone?
Well, I told you earlier that enablers from Kupe Manenguba who are in Yaoundé or who are working in La République were those who made that happen. In fact, I was in Tonga
One of those racks in there.
when that happened. The person who was running for that mayor was an Amazonian, I would say Southern Cameroonian. But they knew that no one was going to beat him in the election, so they invited this lady from Douala to come and run for that election. And they all supported him.
So this lady came all the way from Douala to run election in Kupe Manenguba.
Yes, the parents have a background. The parents were those who came and settled in Tombel. And according to them, those enablers, he comes from Tombel. So they invited him and they gave him money, campaigned against a Southern Cameroonian, Dr. Ntoko, who would have been the mayor. That is the history. I'm telling you the fact because I was in Tombel. I happened to go to Cameroon at that time, so-called Cameroon at that time, and I came to Tombel. And that's what happened. That is what our people do. Even our boys who have been killed in Guti, one day 17 restoration forces were not killed by La Republic of Cameroon, were killed by our own people who have been brainwashed because money came from Yaoundé to do the job.
Right.
In fact, the killings of they killed 5 boys in the same village. And I will tell you, it was our own people. Some are within and some are without.
Now, were those infiltrators ever detected? Were they ever arrested?
Who is going to? It is when we finish this war.
Okay.
That's when we'll go back to it. But for now, they think everything is fine, it's cool. I will tell you right here, we of Nguti, we know those who perpetrated those atrocities, either within or without. We know them.
Good. What is the morale? What is the morale of the restoration fighters today inside Kupe Manenguba as a whole? Are they picking up the spirit as we see in the Ngoketwinjia, we see in Bui, we see in Bali, we see in Libialem, we see in Manfe, we see in Pinyin, we see all over the place. Even in Dian with Fima Shaten Kobo. Are they picking up the spirit up in Kupe Manenguba?
Yes, we are picking up. Last year, the whole place was almost dormant. Actions were being taken in Guti, have been taken in Guti, and you all know that. In Tombel, I think there were some actions. It was Bangam that there was no action for last year, and even part of this year, but everyone is pumped up right now. All the local governments are really pumped up. All what we want is the support of other Amazonians to come and help us.
Now, you, as you mentioned from the onset, Kupe Manenguba is very, very strategically located in Amazonia. You are right there on the road between Manfe, Omanyu, and Meme. That is a very important piece of highway there that links Nigeria into Amazonia and to the biggest commercial town in Amazonia, being Kumba. I think if you have money, you could do more policing that highway and getting rid of French Cameroon army on that stretch of the road, isn't it?
Very correct. You are very correct, Secretary Chris. Our boys in Guti have courage. I will say the whole Kupe Manenguba. Only few are dormant, but most of our boys have courage, especially those in Guti. In Kupe Manenguba, Nguti has been carrying most of the fighting right from the start. You will remember that Nguti was the first local government area. Our restoration forces were the first to host the Ambazonian flag in Nguti. They kicked out the gendarmes, they put up the flag. They went and kicked out the Dio, they put the flag. It was at that moment that Field Marshal himself, Field Marshal of Ambazonia, told some of our colleagues that that was what motivated him when he was in the army in that damn country of La Republique. And that made him resign and go out. That when he saw the flag up, he knew that if he who was in the army could not join us, that would be a very big blow for him. So he left the army because of what Nguti did. And Nguti continues to maintain that high morale. And we shall fight and kick out those fellows, La Republique, from our land. In Nguti, local, I will say in Kupe Manenguba. So, in fact, it is very easy for us to knock them out, but we need the help of Ambazonians. In fact, Ambazonians should not take Nguti very lightly. I will say the whole Kupe Manenguba, because as you rightly said, if one county is lacking behind and 12 counties have taken over their own territory and one has not taken, then we have not yet gotten the independence. So if only Nguti can fight and Bangam and Tombe do not fight, then it still makes little or no sense. So please, I will appeal to all Ambazonians and supporters to come and help us in Kupe Manenguba. But the heat is in Nguti, where you have a very large army camp. Very large army camp. Many of them have come, some come from Manfield and come from Kumba to come and be there. So the army camp is so large and they are haunting our boys. They hold meetings with our chiefs to make sure that those chiefs kill their own children. That is what has been happening since 2018. Our boys in Nguti have died, more than 40. And some have died fighting even in Bangam, when the boys in Bangam were sleeping on their beds. So, because of what enablers have done in Bangam, and they have done in Nguti, but Nguti is of different tribes.
Right.
Nguti has 5 tribes. And so there's no way that you can convince all the tribes to lay down your arms. There's no way.
So, talking about Ambazonians turning out to support Kupe Manenguba, you know, the zeal of the indigenes themselves in this exercise is very much important. Tell us, how is the spirit among the Kupe Manengubans themselves at this moment? Are they upbeat? Are they ready? Do you see a better turnout compared to last year?
Yes, Secretary Chris. We are beat up. We are very energized. We hold meetings constantly. Even after this show, I will go into. We have another meeting today. We are waiting for you all. Everything will be very, very good. Okay. Well organized.
All right, wonderful, wonderful. Please look at that camera. Any message that is in your heart you want Ambazonians to get, please pour out your heart to them.
Fellow Ambazonians, first of all, I did not actually greet the restoration forces in Kupe Manenguba in all 13 counties, I greet you. Your cafe is up. You all are doing a very wonderful job. Fellow Ambazonians, as this war continues, we have to continue to fight. We cannot be discouraged. I know that a few of us spent a lot of money on this struggle. The same people contributing every time. We know that times are very hard for everybody. But we also have to take a responsibility and do the right thing. Independence is not cheap. Some of us are in the United States, and many are in the United States and other parts of the world, in Europe. United States fought for their independence. They fought their independence for 7 years. By the 5th year, in fact, George Washington lost nearly every battle, but he continued the war. By the 5th year, only about 1/4 of the Americans were still behind the struggle. He continued to fight with the 1/4 of the people that he had. And finally, America is now leading the world in everything. That is why everybody tries to run in any part of the world. They want to come to America. If they did not fight for their independence, many of us will not be running to come to America. If you see anybody in Europe, out of 100%, 90% would have loved to be in America, but they had no choice. They had no opportunity to come right to America. Every Europeans want to come to America and leave Europe. So, fellow Ambazonians, especially those in Kupe Manenguba,
Oh, right, ladies and gentlemen, my apologies. We lost Dr. Epa there, and I hope that we all got the message anyways about Kupe Manenguba's draft over the weekend coming up precisely on Saturday, as we have done for Bui, for Ngoke Twinja, for Manu, for the BLM. Let us do the same. Let us do the same for Kupe Manenguba. This Saturday, we need to go out in the numbers and really support them. As I said from the onset of this broadcast, if we save every county in Ambazonia and one is left, Ambazonia will still be a dependent country on the Republic of Cameroon. Dr. Epa has just quickly joined. Dr. Epa, please, 1 minute round up. Let me bring in the next guest, and please, Again, I'm bringing up my next guest with the revelations that I promised bringing today. You're going to hear a lot of what is going on in La République. The discovery of mass graves in Tole, in Boya. The rule of Eli Smith inferring arms from La République du Cameroon through the ADF and so many other things. You will hear what Frank Biya is doing in that country at all costs to become their next president. A lot and lots of things, and these are coming from somebody who has been on the ground, an American who has paid for these investigations. Please just stay put, don't rush out. She will be here. Meanwhile, Dr. Epa, please, 1 minute to round up.
Thank you, Secretary Chris. I'm sorry, someone called me, and that is why I was disconnected. Tell Ambazonians, I will just shorten everything. We need your help to support us. We are going to draft local government by local government. If you have $5 and you want to support Kupe Manenguba, indicate whether $2 are going to Nguti, $2 are going to Bangam, and $1 is going to Tombe, or any amount that you come and help support us. But we're drafting local government by local government, not county. So please, I just wanted to let you know. And we have different payment options based on individual LTAs. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Epa. Thank you for joining me in the broadcast. I look forward to being with you on Sunday for Kupe Manenguba Amber War Drive. I wish you all the best, and if there is anything that ABC can do to make this more successful, please, let's do it. One thing that I have not found, I was looking for Kupe music, Nguti, and all the rest. I couldn't find any, and I asked that it be sent to us here. Nobody sent us anything.
No, I sent it.
Yes, you sent it.
I sent them.
Did you resend it after I called?
Yes, they are in that number that you wanted.
Okay, good. All right, we'll use that over the week then. Thank you for joining me.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting to the moment with this very, very revealing broadcast with my guest, who is an American who has worked on the ground, on ground zero, with a paid staff on ground zero who have carried out some investigations, revelations of which you are going to hear only from ABC. Unfortunately, while I was still talking with my other guest, my current guest got frozen and doesn't appear to be connected. I will have to take a few minutes out to bring her back in. So please do not touch your remote. Let's get her connected. This is going to be very, very revealing. I mean, she will say things that will marvel you. Stay tuned, please. I will be right back. Don't touch your remote.
My mother. the she oh. Say you love me, talk your own. Anything I want, you got it. I'm the one you really want. All the others photocopy. Make it official. If you really mean make you follow me all the way to Nigeria. Oh, hurry, hurry, come carry your baby go.
Come and see my mother.
My mother.
You must see my mother.
My mama.
My mother. Come and see my mother. Hey. My mother. You must see my mother. My mother. Come and carry. Come and carry. Come and carry. If you want, come and carry. Come and carry. If you want, come and carry. Come and carry. A woman of quality knows what she wants. If you want to tarry me and do what you want, then hurry, hurry, come carry your baby go. Come and see my mother. My mother. You must see my mother.
My mama.
My mother. Come and see my mother. Hey. My mother. You must see my mother. My mother.
Who no know say now you be the best. Who no know say now you be one mama one mama oh, oh, oh. Come on, come on, come on, let's do it now. My baby my fine baby. My baby my sweet mama. Let me tell you something about this, my sweet mama. The only woman who give it me to grow and make me a man. Thank you, for the love you showed me. Without you, my bamenda, I know for the exist. Thank you, my bamenda. Thank you, my homeland. God bless you, my mama. For the strength you say for your children. I am proud of you, you are rich. I am proud of you, you are strong. You defeat the whole Cameroon like Africa in the one leg. My bamenda, my fine baby. My bamenda, my sweet mama. Some people say you too small to change the country. Others say you're not big good for make things work. That's just a name in this country. People them they shiver. The way we are picking them, they also people them they wonder. Thank you, my bamenda. Thank you, my homeland. God bless you, my mama. For the strength you say for your children. I am proud of you, you are rich. I am proud of you, you are strong. You defeat the whole Cameroon like Africa in the one leg. My bamenda. My fine baby. My bamenda. My sweet mama. My brothers and sisters all over the world. Whatever you do, always think about your home. It's a place where you will come back some days. Let's clean it up, let's build it love. Thank you, my bamenda. Thank you, my homeland. God bless you, my mama. For the strength you say for your children. I am proud of you, you are rich. I am proud of you, you are strong. You defeat the whole Cameroon like Africa in the one leg. My bamenda. My fine baby. My bamenda. My sweet mama. All the hard-working sons and daughters of this great northwest region of Cameroon, I want you to stand up and dance because the time has come when we have to put put our heads and hands together in order to build this our lovely and only region.
Well, thank you for staying put there, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, and very unfortunately, we have connections issue with our guest. She was connected while I was still having other guests, but unfortunately she got disconnected, and all efforts to get back to her have not prevailed. So I guess what I have to do is reschedule the interview with her. I promise you we will bring her back and she will spill those revelations onto you, and they can only be exclusive here on ABC. Possibly next week we will find time to bring her back again. These revelations are very exclusive, and they are quite revealing of what Cho Ayaba, the ADF, is doing on the ground, working with La République du Cameroon, the connection of Eli Smith in all of this, the mass graves that were uncovered in Toleti Estate area, and other revelations about Frank Beer. And again, this lady is an American who has paid people to carry out these investigations on ground zero. Very unfortunately, again, she got disconnected, and I just can't get her to reconnect back. I promise to bring her back as soon as possible, probably sometime next week. But that said, we're going to call it a day here. Thank you very much for tuning in. Want to remind you, Kupe Manenguba is Sunday. Let's join them, let's support them, let's stand with them. Do the same thing we've done with BLM, with Manu, with Bui, with Goke Twinja. They are all Amazonians. Thank you. God bless and good night.
We are no fools on the hill. My people are no fools on the hill. You must let my people go, so we can rule from Cape to Cairo. You must free my people's hands, so we can rule our purpose land. I wanna know who owns the land. Who wanna know who owns the land? Okay, now listen carefully. Chinese are ruling the Chinese land. Japan is ruled by Japanese.